Fade in. Oh, I am Michelle with two L's.
And I'm Natalie the Red.
And we are Force of Light Entertainment. Well, I saw something kind of interesting on Twitter today, and I wanted to address it regarding the new Indiana Jones 5 movie that is currently in production. And before we get that, I just want to say, because Indiana Jones, it's just now been in production about a month, but it's already had, for starters, I think a lot of us just kind of question, can they make a good Indiana Jones movie at this point? There's no George Lucas, there's no Steven Spielberg, and Harrison Ford is 78 years old, and it is kind of it's an action movie. I mean, it is what it is. We all love Indiana Jones, at least we do, and a lot of people do. It's just no one wants to see Indiana Jones like the nursery. I mean, why can't I think of the word?
We don't want to see him in a diaper.
That's what I'm trying to get at. But we don't want to see him with a cane. That's not what we're looking for here. We love Indy too much to have Indiana Jones with a cane.
Well, and the facts are, sadly, as human beings, as we age, sometimes there are some physical limitations.
Well, there are. I mean, there are. And that brings up to, of course, some of the bad press is, again, James Mangold went after Matt Kadish of the Salty Nerd podcast, who brought up the points that I just mentioned.
That he's 78.
Yes. And then we find out that 1 week into filming, Harrison Ford was injured. So I want to pull up this picture to show just now what they're doing, because I thought, well, I guess they'll have to pause filming because the star himself, Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones himself, is injured. But then we've got some set leaks, and now we've got this. So let's take a look. And shout out to Price of Reason on Twitter. But as he says, Indiana Jones update. They're currently filming the movie in Glasgow with
that's Glasgow.
Oh, however, sorry if I mispronounced it.
It's fine.
With Harrison Ford's body double. And they'll just add Indy later in post-production with editing, green screens, and CGI. Kind of like Tig Notaro in Army of the Dead. What could possibly go wrong? And so here we see him. Of course, that's Phoebe Waller-Bridge. That brings up some concern for some fans, at least. And just because of her kind of track record of always being kind of this new age feminist that always pushes that type of thing into what she does. But here we have, it looks like Indiana Jones, but it is not Indiana Jones, because this is not Harrison Ford. They literally have a body double for Harrison Ford's Indiana Jones character.
I mean, it could be our grandfather right there, for all I know. And he's 86.
I mean, that's just, so basically, because we've already seen set photos where it looks like they're going to be doing the de-aging technique, where maybe some of the movie will take maybe flashbacks, or a part of the movie will take place earlier in time, where this is clearly more the 60s, like we had originally been told. So we're going to have a de-aged Harrison Ford or Indiana Jones, which is not Harrison Ford. And then now, instead of waiting for him to be fine to walk through the street, we now have a body double just for walking through the street.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's a lot of doubling.
It's starting to be like, is Harrison Ford going to be in this movie, or is he just a voice actor? Like that's kind of how it's starting to feel as far as this movie, because CGI and all this stuff, these technologies, they've come so far and they can do so much.
Can they do too much?
That's what I was going to get at. But nothing beats just practical filming and stunts. And it's just like,
an actual live person in a scene. Call me old-fashioned.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to get at. And as he kind of says, what could go wrong? I mean, we literally now don't have Harrison. And I know, I mean, I was just kind of thinking, are there no scenes that maybe they could film with the villains that maybe Indiana's not in, and maybe start with those scenes first? Or, I don't know. I remember that Tom Cruise on the last Mission Impossible, the Fallout movie, that he broke his ankle jumping across a building doing a stunt.
Michelle, but that's Tom Cruise.
But here's my point.
Tom Cruise would go bloodied through the snow to production to film.
Well,
I mean, that's the kind of,
and that, I mean,
love him or hate him, that's the kind of actor he is.
yeah, no, I get that. But what I'm saying is they waited. They didn't do a body double for Tom Cruise.
Right.
They waited for Tom Cruise for his ankle to be healed enough to begin filming again. And I've seen Indiana. I've seen Harrison Ford walking around. It's like, because I believe it's his arm, I believe, that got injured. It's like,
So I guess you're saying, can't you walk around on camera?
yeah, maybe take the sling off for an hour or so here or there, and you can put it back on after sets. I don't know. Because I do know it's hard once things are going like this was to just pause things, because you've got so many moving pieces and people that are working there. So it is difficult to stop it, but I just don't feel like this is a good solution either. And it just
Right.
kind of feels like, I don't know, a movie that people already have so many questions with. I just feel that this feels like we really could be in for a disaster in the making, which is what I think everyone is kind of afraid of. I don't know, but Natalie, I mean, what do you think? I just, this is tough.
Well, I think, the bottom line, I guess my thoughts are on this, if I'll share them. He is 78, and it is kind of hard to do a proper action movie when your main star is 78.
Yes.
That's kind of the bottom line here.
Yeah. And again, I love Indiana Jones. I love Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. It's just, this was pretty late in the game to get the fifth movie.
And I'm not trying to be ageist, I promise.
And then especially with him getting injured, and now there's body doubles, and then there's more. I just, again, when is he actually going to be in this movie is how it's beginning to feel. So that's kind of it for what I've seen, at least. Man, the Indiana Jones 5, I feel like we're going to have a few more videos before it's all said and done, because this is
turning into quite the interesting show to watch.
It really is. Just the making of it,
yeah,
is turning out to be very interesting. But anyways, you guys below.
Hold on, can I just say, does he take the record now as the world's oldest action star?
I don't know. I'm not sure about that. But
maybe there have been some 80-year-olds.
I mean, those Expendable movies get some older ones. So I don't know. But I think he's older than all them. So but anyways, you guys share below your thoughts. What do you think of this? How's the body double situation gonna go? What are your thoughts on this movie? Share your thoughts below. And if you have not yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, as always, remember to be a force of light. All right.